All right, guys, we are starting our new math chapter. And our new math chapter is all about geometry and fraction concepts. Today, we're just going to start with 3D shapes. Now, in the past, you guys have probably only done 2D shapes, which are like squares, circles, rectangles, triangles. But a 3D object is a three-dimensional shape that has not only length and height, but it also has width. So normally, or a 2D object has, like a square, has length and height. But if it's a three-dimensional shape, it has width as well. So a three-dimensional shape will be something that sticks out, like we are three-dimensional objects. A paper is a two-dimensional object, though, because it's flat. 2D objects are flat. They don't have this thickness to them. So some of the 3D shapes that we're going to be talking about today are cubes, rectangular prisms, spheres, cylinders, and cones. So first, let's talk about cubes. Cubes have 6 flat faces. Now, in this picture, you can't really see all of the faces. You can see where this dotted line is in the middle of the shape. That is showing you where the edges are on the other side of it. So it has 6 faces, or 6 flat sides, and each face is a square. So if you think about a cube, I want you to think about like a box or a dice, an ice cube. Those are all three-dimensional cubes. Another 3D object is a sphere. A sphere, if you think about a sphere, I want you to think about a ball or a bubble. It is perfectly round. There are no corners to this or no flat sides. The whole thing is curved. This one is a cone. So if you think of a cone, I want you to think of like an ice cream cone or a birthday hat. It has one flat side. So this down here is a flat side and it's a circle. And this up here is curved around. So if you think about an ice cream cone, the top is curved around. This one is a cylinder. So some of you probably eat Pringles at home. I want you to think of a cylinder as a Pringles can, or like a soup can, things like that. It has 2 flat bases. So like the cone had one flat base, like that was a circle. A cylinder has 2 flat circle bases. And then this part around that goes around it is curved. And then the last one we're going to talk about is a prism. Now, more specifically in this chapter, it talks about rectangular prisms. But prisms are, basically it has 2 ends that have the same shape. So you can see this has 2 triangle ends that are the same shape. All of the sides are flat, has no curved sides. And a rectangular prism usually has squares at the ends, but this one just has triangles. So let's find the right shape. So this says circle the objects that match the shape name. So the first one is sphere. Sphere, that PH makes an F sound, sphere. So which one of these is a sphere? Well, this first one looks like a dice, so that means it's a cube because it has 6 flat sides. A sphere has no flat sides, it has no corners. This has a flat side on both ends, so I know that's not it. So that means it must be this one. And if I think of a sphere, I need to think of a ball. And this is a basketball, so that is the right one. Our next one, we need to find the cube. Now, I know right away this vegetable soup can is not a cube because it's curved around. So I know that is not going to be right. So I'm going to X that one out. So now I'm between this box of tissues and this dice. So a cube has six square flat faces. Well, if I look at this tissue box, this right here and this right here are rectangular faces. So I know this is not a cube because all the sides need to be exactly the same shape like this dice here. So that means that this is not right and this is the cube. Now we're looking for a cylinder. A cylinder has a flat base and a flat top, so it's going to have two ends that are exactly the same shape. It has one curved side and it looks like a can. So I know right away this is not right and this is not right because neither of those have curved sides. So that means this roll of paper towels is a cylinder. And it does have two flat ends. And it has this curved side that goes all the way around. Our next one is a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism needs to have two ends that are identical. All the sides must be flat. So I know right away this is not a rectangular prism because you can see a cup has a curved side that goes all the way around. So I know that cannot be right. So now we're between this shoebox and this box of tissues. So this box of shoes has all the sides are flat and I have two ends that are exactly the same and the sides are rectangulars. So this has to be a rectangular prism. But if I look at this box of tissues, it is also has all the same rules as a rectangular prism. So that is also a rectangular prism. Both of those are rectangular prisms. We're looking for a cone. Well, all of these are three-dimensional objects. A cone has one flat side though. This balloon does not have any flat sides. So this cannot be right. And if you remember when we were talking about cones, I told you to think of an ice cream cone. So this is a cone because the one side is flat and it has a curved edge that goes or curved side that goes all the way around, and it has this point at the top. This is also a cone because it also has one curved side and one flat base. So this is also a cone. These last two are kind of tricky because they're two right answers. Now let's look at all these 3D shapes. Here we have a cone. This is a rectangular prism. Here's a sphere with a cube and a cylinder. Circle the shapes that have a curved surface. Draw an X on the shapes that do not have a curved surface. Well, this has one curved surface, so that needs to be circled because it has a curved surface. This rectangular prism has no curved surfaces, so that is going to have an X on it. This sphere is an entire curved surface, so that is going to be circled. this cube has no curved surfaces. All of the sides are flat squares. So that has an X on it because there's no curved surfaces there. And then lastly, we have a cylinder. A cylinder has two flat tops, but it has this curved side that goes all the way around. So that has a curved surface. All right, I hope this helps you with your 11.1 PMT.